So, hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session on advanced manufacturing. Today, we'll be taking you through a set of capabilities that we have at Autodesk in terms of subtractive manufacturing. And I'm joined by my colleague Ramaswamy Srinivas. I am Sanjeev Ghosh. I am related to the design and manufacturing industry vertical at Autodesk, and I'll let Srini, as we call him lovingly, talk about what he has been doing and what are his specialties. Over to you,
Uh,
Srini.
Thanks, Sanjeev. Yeah, of course. So, good morning, everyone. So, myself, Srinivas, as introduced by Sanjeev. So, I have more than 2 decades of experience in subtractive manufacturing. So, in the year 2005, I joined Delcam. So, Delcam is a 40 years old manufacturing specialty company. So, who have made uh, uh, made softwares for manufacturing mainly. I have been associated with them for more than 10 years, and then after the merging with Autodesk, so I'm continuing with Autodesk as technical manager for DMG Group, that is the Digital Manufacturing Group. Over to Sanjeev.
Thanks, Srini. Thanks for the nice introduction. So we have an expert among ourselves today, and I'll be leaning on Srini to answer a lot of clarifying questions when it comes to uh, some in-depth information that you need on CAM. So with this, let's get started. And before we move on to our presentation, I would like the audience to sort of read this through, take a moment to understand that we will be showing information to you. Some of it might not be available as of now, might be a future roadmap as well. So this is a safe harbor statement stating that everything that we are showing here is bound by certain rules and regulations. So please take a moment to browse through this. And uh, so fine. So I believe you have gone through this, and let's get started. So what are we going to do today? It will be a set of topics that we are going to cover, and before we get to individual products capabilities, let's look at where do we start. Okay, so uh, uh, in essentially in today's session we are going to cover a couple of products. You might have I'm definitely sure that you have heard of names like FeatureCam, PowerMill. These have been in existence, and as Sneet just talked about, Delcam, the products from where these uh, the company from where these products came from is a 40-year-old company, and there is also another set of CAM products that Autodesk has by the name of HSM. So we have different capabilities built into products for different kind of people looking to achieve CAM outputs. So how to start, and what are some of the considerations that we are looking at when we are talking about CAM or subtractive machining. Essentially, I would say there are two things, or rather, I would say there are three things that we essentially consider. Of course, we are concerned with the quality that we want to achieve with the parts we are manufacturing, and at the same time, there are instances when we are manufacturing at mass. So there is the subject of quantity as well. So there is the quality of parts as well as the quantity that we intend to manufacture. And above all, we also should consider what equipment or what machine type we already have or we are planning to buy for this process. So these three major considerations lead us to decide what we want to do, how we want to do it, and which CAM software to choose. So let's talk about what we have as products to offer you in for subtractive manufacturing. And Autodesk manufacturing products cover a host of processes, starting from a complete design for manufacturing. We have a complete portfolio of subtractive manufacturing. What we are going to cover today is primarily those set of products. We are also there in terms of additive manufacturing and simulation, inspection, and composites. But primarily today's focus is on subtractive manufacturing, where we'll focus on Autodesk HSM, FeatureCAM, and PowerMill. Now you see 4 icons here. Essentially, you also see the name Fusion 360. So the product HSM, as we have it, is part of two of our design products. One is Inventor. So HSM sits within Inventor, as well as it is also available as a part of Fusion 360. And a lot of customers today are leveraging the capabilities of CAM within Fusion 360 as well. So the HSM that we see here are part of both these products. Apart from that, we have FeatureCAM and PowerMill, which are standalone products with specific capabilities. So if I were to just simply talk about, we are talking of 3 types of softwares here, and sometimes it might be a little confusing as to decide which one to use in what instance. So let's go about talking a little about the overlaps. So if I just were to browse through broad milling capabilities, okay, so I'm specifically talking about milling here. All the 3, that is HSM, FeatureCAM, and PowerMill, all have capabilities in 2D 2.5 milling, that is milling of pockets, plates, or 3-axis milling, or 3+2 and basic multi-axis milling capabilities. So all the 3 products have great features as far as these 3 capabilities in milling are concerned. But when it comes to multitasking, again, here you would see that HSM can do basic 2-axis turning. It can do mill turn and turn mill as well. Same with FeatureCAM and PowerMill. So till now you see that all the 3 products have maybe similar capabilities. But as we move ahead, let's take a look at a little, deeply as what these products have to offer, starting with HSM and how we offer it. So HSM is a CAD integrated CAM programming tool. When I say CAD integrated, it is a part of a CAD tool such as either Inventor or SolidWorks or Fusion 360. And how do we sell it? We sell it as a part of the Autodesk Product Design and Manufacturing Collection, which we call as PDMC. So it's a high performance yet entry level system. So what this means is that you can achieve a lot with it, but yes, there could be some areas where which need a little more, and that is where you might want to think of the other products that we want to talk about. And where do we essentially see the use more? When you want a CAD programmer who is also perhaps a product designer and is working in a CAD environment, and for him it becomes very easy to remain in the same interface of his familiar CAD environment rather than jump from one designing tool to a separate CAM programming tool. So these are the set of people who would find HSM very useful. One single interface for CAD and CAM. And also it is ideal for people who are new to CAM, easy to learn. You can very quickly understand the concepts of CAM programming. A lot of automated workflows out there in HSM. And also when your designs face very large number of revisions frequently. So that is also something you may want to consider, that how many times do you want to reprogram based on the revisions that are coming in. So these are some of the reasons to have HSM as the choice for your CAM. I would request Srini to talk about the next one, which is feature cam. Over to you, Srini.
Thanks, Sanjeev. Yeah, of course. So we Sanjeev went through the HSM part of it, so which is like an integrated CAM. So this is when we talk about future CAM. So from the name itself, future, that means it captures the future of your 3D model. So the generally the input can be like a 2D drawing or can be a 3D model. So if it is a 3D model, the FutureCam works very efficiently in the ways that it captures all your features of the 3D model, and then it automates the process workflow for your manufacturing process. And it greatly reduces this reduces the programming time and the skill level of the programmers. So a lot of the informations are inbuilt within the software itself, so we can do the programs faster, and we can easily meet the delivery schedules. Okay, so we can reduce considerably the part to market time. And the main reason behind this, we say that the future recognition capability of the software, where it splits the complex part into simple features and then targets each feature with its inbuilt intelligence, where we have have lot of libraries inbuilt with respect to the materials, with respect to the tooling capabilities, with respect to the parameters that it has to run, and with respect to the CNC machine types. So with all these data inbuilt, so it automatically selects, gives you the appropriate methodology of targeting that future in completing, and then the NC program is like a automated workflow. So that's why we say this is as a comprehensive machining solution, where the skill level of the programmer is very less required for so and yeah, and we can see that overall in different. So it the overall productive performance from maybe like a new user to advanced user, the output remains the in a high efficient manner. Next slide, Sanjeev. And this is Autodesk Power Mill. So when I tell you about when I told you about FutureCam, so FutureCam is a future-based machining for mainly for productive product production-oriented or batch process jobs. But when we talk about Power Mill is more for a tool and die industry, where the complexity of the part is more, where you have to drive a lot of 3D profiled surfaces which has to be machined, and maybe very complex 5-axis requirements like the aerospace or any medical kind of in the parts that you need to tackle with. So in those cases, when we want when the requirement is to tackle a lot of 3D complex surfaces to be machined to high precision, then PowerMill is the best solution. So it controls from 3-axis to 5-axis CNC machines, and also it has the capability extended up to supporting the robot applications for different areas of applications, and it can support up to 18 axes of robots. And it's a dedicated solution for precision and quality. So it removes the manual polishing work. So because of its high surface quality that we can achieve, because of the lot of tools within the software, which can result in high quality of surface, the manual polishing work or the after machining work or manual work that you have to carry on to achieve these surface RA values can be greatly reduced by Power Mill application. And it's a good higher value business. We can easily, so your part to market, the lead time will be greatly reduced, and so we can do multiple more volumes of productivity. We can increase more productivity. and it has a lot of high degree of control and flexibility when it comes to the multi-axis and robot applications, where we can easily control the tool axes with which has a very versatile tool axis controlling options. And so with those applications, I think as we move forward, so I think a lot of those points will be covered, so how it is going to help you in controlling and the flexibility level of the software. And it is a trusted software for delivery, so we can run the machines with confidence. When we talk about so the missions, so they are very the investment that you have made on missions are huge. So the importance or the safety of the missions are very important when we come in the terms of talk in terms of 5 axis or robotic applications or large double column missions and so on, so which costs a very huge investment. So the safety is more important, and power mill gives you that flexibility of giving you the confidence to run those missions without with more level of unattendance. So you can just cycle start it and leave it till the job ends. So next slide, Sanjeev.
Uh, Thanks, Srini. That was really insightful. And we till now saw and briefly understood what each product stands for in terms of capabilities. But let's look at those capabilities a little more deeper over the entire spectrum of capabilities we have to offer. So, if I were to look at the complete set of milling capabilities. Earlier, I only talked about the top three, that is the basic ones, that is 2, 2.5, 3 axis, and 3 plus 2 and basic multi-axis, which was possible in all the three solutions. But if I were to look at the complete range, HSM perhaps is a software that is CAD integrated. We already heard that. It has capabilities for probing and of course the three basic milling capabilities. But if we talk of feature cam, it can additionally do some complex multi-axis milling. It is not CAD integrated as the table here suggests. And going ahead with Power Mill has much more capabilities as already articulated by Srini, where you can do tool axis editing, toolpath editing, and you can have some specialist strategies and robotics as well. And again, Power Mill is also not CAD integrated. So this is a broader range of capability matrix. Now looking at multitasking, again, the capabilities what HSM covers involves things like water jet laser cutting. It is of course integrated with CAD. We already heard that many times now. And it covers basic 2 axis and mill turn and turn mill operations, along with some basic multi-spindle turning as well. But if I were to look at feature cam and power mill, I believe here there's a lot of differentiation in terms of what feature cam can achieve. Capabilities such as multi-turret turning, switch machining, and simulated multi-axis turning and wire EDM is what feature cam definitely can do. And here is where we find power mill a little limited in terms of its capabilities. So Srini, maybe a few comments from your side on this slide.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Sanjeev. Yeah, as you see here, so the when it comes to the application part of it, so this slide very clearly states that how these three products are differentiated. So as per the application, so when your main application is on the water jet or laser cutting, then the of course the right product is the HSM. And when it comes to the multi-axis like Swiss turning machines or multi-turret turning, which where you need multi-axis simulation, and so in those applications, then FutureCam is the right product for you. And of course, so power mill, as you find it from the name itself, power mill is mainly a milling application. So even though it is a milling application, mainly high-end milling application, even though to accommodate the initial or basic level of turning things, we have included that the features of mill turn into power mill. So these are the differences. Over
Yeah,
to you,
thanks,
Sanjay. Yeah,
Srini.
next slide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Srini. So let's get into the depth of it and understand how each product looks like and what you can do with it. So starting with HSM, and the first question: why do we even need to choose an integrated CAM? So if I were to look at a standalone CAM workflow, we have CAD data, which is created in a specialist CAD software. It could be one of the Autodesk products such as Inventor, or a product like SolidWorks, or any other 3D modeling tool. Then that part design created in a solid modeling software has to be exported in the form of data that is acceptable to the CAM software, imported into the CAM software, and then the subsequent steps of having to define a job, defining the operations, generating the tool path, of course, verifying the tool path, and generating the post code, which finally runs the machine. Uh, as against that, if I were to look at an integrated CAM workflow, the one that is enabled through HSM, of course, the first step remains the same, because the CAD data has to be created somewhere. But we do away with the steps of having to export and import the data for acceptance to the CAM software, because the CAM interface is built right into the design software. So we directly jump to the step where we define the job setup, define operations, generate toolpath, and the subsequent steps of verifying it and generating the post code. So a few steps shorter, which means we are going to save some time here in terms of data translation and data interoperability. And this is the time saving that we have gained. But what happens, when things change, things get updated, because design is a continuous activity and it undergoes change. There are reasons why designs have to be continuously upgraded or modified. And when that happens, what does it look like for a standalone CAM workflow? So the step of exporting the CAD data and importing the CAD data still remains, which means that every time a design has changed, this step continues to be there, which also means that the subsequent steps of defining the job, the operation, the tool path, and verifying it, and finally generating the post code are additional steps here. As against that, when we do the same thing in integrated CAM workflow, we totally eliminate these steps of having to redefine the operation. So I don't really need to redefine my operations every time my part is changed. I simply update my CAD data. Rather, that's an automatic process because we are in the same environment. We just click on the regenerate tool path. We don't have to do a setup again. The activity of defining operations is totally not there, because we are not redefining it again. We are not setting it up again. It is already set up. It's just a matter of clicking on regenerate. Of course, we need to verify it, so that step remains. And finally, we generate a postcode. So again, a lot of time saving here. So as I said earlier, when there are instances where your designs undergo very frequent changes, it's sometimes good to have an integrated CAM solution that helps you to work within the CAD environment and ensures that once the CAD design changes, the updates are just a matter of refreshing or regenerating. So this also saves a lot of time, and preparation time that involves a standalone CAM software is almost non-existent here. So this is the time that we save with the integrated CAM workflow, and that is what Autodesk HSM is all about. Let's look at how the software really looks like with a small technical demonstration. And right now, this software, as I'm showing it to you, is a part of the Inventor interface. As I said, it's inside CAD. So Inventor is the CAD I'm showing you, and this is an assembly that is shown, which has been modeled in Inventor. Or the interesting part is this model can also encompass parts coming in from various other CAD software such as SolidWorks, Proe, Creo, and various others, which means that inside Inventor, I have the capability to import native CAD formats from almost any 3D mechanical CAD software. in its native file format without having to really convert it to a neutral format such as step, Parasolid, or IGES. I can directly take the native file format and integrate it into my Inventor design. Now, uh, going ahead, what I want to do essentially as a part of this demonstration, I want to show you how I'm going to machine or set this up for machining, and finally take it to machining and generate the post code. So this is the part that I intend to carry out the machining for. So I am right now into the CAM section of the same software. I am right within the same software, so there's no opening of the file. It's just a matter of setting it up for my operations. And as the interface clearly indicates, it has a progression of steps, which includes the setup to start with, then defining the operation, and finally running the operation to simulate the operation and see how it really is looking at, and ending with generating the post code. So right now we are setting it up. We are choosing a specific tool. There's a very large tool library available right within the software, and as I said, it's an automatic process. The facing operation, which was the first operation that we essentially are talking about, was done pretty automatically without much intervention. These steps are not part of a skipped video, but they are as is recorded. So the next one that I'm going to talk about is a very quick workflow, which is the adaptive clearing. And here I'm going to let the software decide what is the best strategy for removing the first set of maximum material. So I'm going to choose some basic profiles and let the software decide what I want to do and how I want to remove most of the material. So the adaptive strategy in HSM is exactly that. It does a lot of things automatically and gives you the best possible and the fastest possible cutting time without having to set up things manually. And finally, I go on to complete a couple of other areas of machining by choosing different strategies. For example, in this case, I selected the 2D contour. This is a 2-axis operation because it's a fixed depth, and I simply had to choose a path, and I had to decide whether I have to machine inside the path or outside the path. That is the only perhaps important thing that I needed to specify, apart from obviously the specifying the tool itself. Now I go on to carry out another 2-axis operation with the adaptive strategy, and this time for these counter bores which are connected to each other. Okay, as you see, the steps is just a matter of selecting the tool, selecting the profile to be cut, and deciding whether the cutting happens inside or outside the profile, and that's it. Say okay, and the toolpath gets generated for you. Pretty simplistic steps even for a person who is perhaps trying to learn CAM and trying to sort of trying it for the first time. In fact, I have seen a lot of CAM machines in my career previously when I was doing plastic product design and also designing tools, but never really did machining myself on a CAM. I, in fact, used to get things done from various tool rooms and various machine shops. But when I got to check out HSM and its capabilities, even of course I had some orientation in terms of setup and stuff like that because I had been looking at how things were done on the machine itself. But it did not take me a lot of time to really figure out how to go about things in HSM. Even even though HSM was the first CAM software I really got my hands dirty with on my own. So some capabilities of going back and forth between CAD and CAM. Now we are back into the area of the CAD interface where I'm making a few changes out here. since this was designed in Inventor and we have parameters to back it up, I am changing the diameter of the hole here. So a quick change. As you saw, I did not switch interfaces. I just went from the CAM menu to the 3D model menu to make this change. Another quick change that I want to enable here is for this open pocket. And the depth of the pocket is what I am essentially changing. These changes were requested by the product teams as they found the component lacking in structural requirements when this was validated for its structural and functional needs. So that is why these changes were being made. But as the changes happen in the same software, I simply jump the interface, and as you saw and I described earlier, I just don't, it gives me an indication that the geometry has changed. Those red indicators really tell me that. And I simply said generate, and my toolpath for the new modified component is all ready. So this is the time that we really save when it comes to making changes in the CAD geometry and generating the CAM program for the modified geometry. Absolutely no setup time here, no time spent in selecting tools, selecting geometry for machining. Everything was the same, and it was just a matter of saying refresh or generate again, and my new CAM program is generated. A few more changes is what we are going to try and bring about here. Quickly switching back to the design environment where I'm modifying a sketch, and essentially this time instead of modifying geometry for its size, I'm removing a complete feature, which is that complete hole out here. At the same time, I'm ensuring that the all the geometry elements are taken care of correctly. So I make the changes to the counter bore. So just removing the base hole did not suffice. I had to go and make changes to the sketch of the counter bore so that the counter bore on the hole that was removed also gets modified. Now, once this change is done, I move back to the CAN environment. You see that there is a change that has been shown, and I simply generate. So even when a geometry goes missing, as in this case, I absolutely did not have to do anything, and it was just a matter of saying generate or refresh, and the operation which had that extra counter bore automatically adapted to the new selected geometry. So this is the power of an integrated CAM workflow where HSM resides inside Inventor or Fusion 360 and enables you a workflow from design to manufacturing all within a single window. With this, I move on to the next one, which is feature cam, and I invite Srini to talk a little more about it. Over to you, Srini.
Yeah, thanks, Sanjay. Next slide, please. Yeah. So as we had discussed earlier, so when I was briefing you about FutureCam, what is it all about? So I said it is a future-based machining. So what do you mean by future? Okay, so this component on your left-hand side, as you see, it's a milling part. So where it's having a lot of 2D profiles to be machined with the 3D data. So what happens is when you import this data into so FutureCam is, as you say, when I talk about import, so FutureCam is any CAD file software. So any format of the CAD file can be directly taken inside FutureCam. And once you import the part, so automatically what the FutureCam does is it starts recognizing the 3D model and splits the 3D model into specific features. Like as you see here, it identifies whether it's a pocket, whether it's a hole, or it's a boss kind of functionalities. And same way on your right hand side, you can see it's a turning or maybe a mill turn turn mill job. So similarly on turn mill jobs as well, it what happens is when once you import the data, so it automatically recognizes the features. So once the features are defined, so then it's only like giving, so it's automated process where it automatically gives you the selects the particular tools to be the process. It sets its own process to mission that particular future, and the process has all the parameters inbuilt. Like it selects its own tools, it selects its own parameters for completing it, and then it's only a simulation, and then the NC program is ready. So the simulation is only to cross check so how the machining is done. So it gives you a visualization how the components are getting machined, all the features are getting machined, and to get the final product. And once you are sure the final product, what you see on the screen is as per the uh, CAD data that you want to do complete it, then the NC program is there in a single click, and you can start running your CNC missions. So this is what future cam is all about. So and the material, as I said, so when we talk about the thing, so material is again an important part. So also FutureCam has all the list of materials. So you have to define which is your material. So according to the material, the parameters are selected. Next slide, Sanjay. So as you see, so this is the process workflow. So programming parts in a faster process. So when we say how the parts are machined or programmed faster, is because you import the data, it identifies and creates the future, and then you have to do a simulation to visualize and cross verify, and then the NC program is ready to run on the machine. Next slide, Sanjay. So this is a technical demonstration which shows you a video file of how the FutureCam works on a particular part. And here the same part, what we did with HSM Cam has been, we are doing it the same part machining inside a FutureCam. So as you see, so we import the data, and then it automatically recognizes all the futures. So right from it splits the entire 3D model into different future sets. And once the future sets are ready, it knows what is the dimensions of those futures. And then as you see here, the setup, it has created the workflow as well. So it is fully automatic, where you have not done any, even you have not selected any tools, or you have not selected the toolpath form or what kind of toolpath has to be generated. So everything it knows as per this future, this is the perfect workflow that it has to do, and then it creates the entire. So directly, the only thing is next icon is only to simulate and check whether how the tool part being machined, whether you are getting the final part as per the CAD data without any deviations. So that is also very easily where you can verify it. It gives you a very clear picture of whether any stock over cutting has been done or any material has been left out. So in that case, we can individually change those parameters in case required. So mostly we don't find this kind of situation arising out. So and in case, so if you, so this is the area that you edit it, so we can go back to the future and edit as per the requirements. So since it is a future based, so all the CAD data, it's more like a parametric kind of thing, where these data, the dimensions are stored inside the future, so you can modify the future as well. So dimensions of the futures can also be modified, so instead of going and correcting it on the 3D part. And the NC programs is ready. And this job is a turn mill or multitasking machine job. So where we import the data. So similarly, we select the turning applications, and then we can do, so it's like future based machining. Also the software as a kind of process workflow, where we can select particular future. So if it is like a more like a 2D job, so if you're not having a 3D data, you are only having a 2D data, then it is more like a process workflow, where you have to select each and every process and select the 2D dimensions of it, and it creates it. But in case if you are getting a 3D data, so it's very simple. So import it, and the future is automatically recognized, and the toolpath form is also selected. automatically, and then it creates the tool selecting the appropriate tool for that application, and then the parameters required to machine that particular material is also automatically taken. So all these are stored inside the software as libraries, and software is in as the capability or inbuilt intelligence to select appropriate uh, process workflow. So as you see here, so it's like here we are using the IFR method. That is both two things are there. So AFR and IFR. AFR is automatic feature recognition, and also IFR is interactive feature recognition. So if you are using IFR, then you can specifically select a particular set of features that you want to select, instead of going like a full-fledged automatic process where you just import the data and ask the software to do it. Instead of that, you want to give your own intelligence into the software. Then you can use this interactive feature recognition method, where we go into the future, select the 3D data, and say only this particular feature that you wanted to mission it off. Then automatically from the 3D data, those features are selected, and then again it goes to the next step of what toolpath method that you have to use, and what are the parameters, what are the tools has to be selected. And so that is like a process workflow. And here in this particular example, as you see here, so this is showing you the part catcher method. So where you are using the subspindle to select. So it's like a multi-turret application, where some operations are done on the main spindle, and the remaining back-end operations are getting done from the subspindle part of it. So we can easily, in a single window, we can have these kind of multiple turret machining applications done. So it, as the subspindle catches the part, and then we can so the main spindle operation as well as the subspindle operation will be done in a single window workflow. So you have a very clear picture of how the part is getting machined, and how, and since we have the entire like the full mission capability, simulation capability, you are ensuring that what you see on the screen is what is running on the CNC machine. So that's why we say it's more, the software is more trusted. So where without any with more confidence we can run the machines. So for the backend operation, as you see, it is, we are again doing as a phasing application, phasing operation, and then it goes on to, we select the holes, the turning applications, and then we do the pocketing. So all these things are, so this is what we call it as IFR, interactive feature recognition method of programming. So here you see this simulation on main spindle, and then part catches to the sub spindle, and you these remaining operations on the back of the part has been done. So you entirely see the entire workflow of the part, and then you can just say, in a, just you can see the NC code is getting generated immediately. So this shows you the workflow, and then you have this synchronization between the main spindle and the sub spindle. So which are the operations that is carried on the main spindle? So that is the setup one, and then the setup two is the operations that is done on the sub spindle. So this synchronization is taken by the software itself. It does the synchronization to ensure that if you have a double multi-turret method, so simultaneously the lower turret or the upper turret working on the main spindle, and simultaneously other turret is working on the sub spindle. So in this, that is what we call it as synchronization. So FutureCam does the auto synchronization. It has the options to do the auto synchronization. And as you see, when once the synchronization is done, so you can see operations running on both main spindle and the sub spindle. So because of this particular advantage, your cycle times or the machining time drastically comes down. So since you have invested in such a high-end machines, so we have to take the full capability of the machine. So FutureCam supports you in taking the full advantage of the investment that you have made on your hardware. So now you see, now we come on to Power Mill. So next slide, Sanjeev. Yeah. So when I talk with Power Mill, so nowadays you come across a complex part. Okay, so uh, the OEMs, you come across different CAD data, or the design are becoming more complex because the end users are expecting more customized solutions. So day by day, so the complexity of the parts are increasing. So you are coming across each and on day-to-day basis on different challenges with respect to the complexity, and also the precision required, the fitting are increasingly becoming more, the requirements are becoming more, and the kind of control and flexibility. So how easily in one setup how you can complete, because uh, um, getting to market, the lead times are getting reduced for you. So how easily we can do in a single setup, how we can complete the entire part and go to the next process, instead of have to do the same in multiple steps where there is a lag of time. So this is, and then the confidence of running, because the investments on these hardwares are huge. So the confidence at the level at which you want to drive those missions. So all these are the challenges that you face on day-to-day basis. So to get next slide, Sanjeev. Sanjeev, yeah. So to come across or get over all these challenges that you face in day-to-day operations, so PowerMill supports you in those things. So it has a high level of control and optimization. So it has increased precision. So when, with respect to whether it is a three-axis or a multi-axis where you have five-axis missions, so it has the capability of running or creating the toolpaths with the optimized tool accesses and the surface quality required. So it has a greater degree of flexibility and control with respect to the tool access, and it achieves excellent surface finish because of lot of uh, tools or features with inside the toolpath generation of PowerMill. You can easily control the kind of surface quality that you want to achieve with respect to with respect to, like, you can define your cusp height, or maybe we can say scale up height. So what you want to achieve as an end result, that can be fed when you create the toolpath. It is not that you are doing some trials, so you give some parameters and see the output and whether you want to change it. Not like that. You give the end result what you want, and software knows what should be the step over or the parameters, or step over or step down that it has to use to achieve that particular surface quality. So, and moreover, there are a lot of different options inside PowerMill which controls to, and gives you the better surface finish. And when it comes to the high end missions, as we say, the confidence level, giving the utmost of confidence for the programmer and the operator to run those high end missions with confidence, is what we call have inside our software the verification options, the collision checking and the automatic collision avoidance options within the software. So this gives you the utmost confidence that whatever you see on the screen of the software is what you are going to achieve on your live CNC machine cutting. Next slide, Sanjay. So this is a technical demonstration which shows you the workflow of PowerMill. So as you see, the part has been imported. So as I said, this is PowerMill also is a AnyCAD software. So any kind of 3D data CAD format can be imported, and then you see like you can create the toolpaths, the process workflow, uh, we can create, and moreover the kind of customization or automation that you want to inbuilt as per your process. So that automation can be set by yourself within the software environment as per your working method or your process for your own industry. So that kind of customization and automation can be built by the end user himself. So these are the list of toolpaths as you see. So earlier you saw a 3-axis toolpath, now you see multi-axis, like the 5-axis tilted continuous toolpath over here for machining it. So this, as you see, so this gives you the it explains you the kind of uh, tool motions that is generated, the smoothness that you achieve, and the level of accuracy. So the variation between one pass to the other pass with respect to the scale up height, that the surface quality that you want to achieve is met by the software itself. And also the software is very intelligent in sense of like the kind of user control is very strong in PowerMill. So the level of optimization or editing after creating the toolpath is very high inside with PowerMill. So the kind of entry exit as you see here, so we can customize these things as per the user's requirement. And as you edit these toolpaths after creating the toolpath, it's not only limited that whatever software gives is what you have to run. So it's more like you can have your own intelligence, or you can ask the software to have your intelligence built in by the use of the editing functionalities within the PowerMill software. So you can clearly edit the entire toolpath that has been created, or you can just select the segment, a particular segment of the toolpath, and then you can edit only that particular segment of the full toolpath that you have created. And the most utmost advantage with PowerMill is that as you do this things, as you edit yourself on the created toolpath which has been created automatically by software, the highlight here is that PowerMill knows that there is an editing done, and it automatically verifies the toolpath with respect to whether it is safe to run, and whether it's all the collision and the verification of those toolpaths is verified before we are going to the mission. So these inbuilt, like the verification is inbuilt within the software. So that's why we say that it gives you a greater confidence in driving your high-end CNC missions or multi-axis missions. So now you can see the edited toolpath at the edge. So the earlier toolpath and the new toolpath, you can see a kind of tool smoothness, tool motion smoothness at the corners. So because when it is, now we have just selected the corner areas and we have just edited the smooth, or we have inbuilt some smoothness into those corner areas to get the required surface quality at the filleted areas. So this is the full capability of software explaining the editing functionalities of the software. Sanjeev, can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So now we come to the summary. Sanjeev, I think it's over to you.
Sure. So thanks, Srini. That was actually really insightful for me as well, getting to know how FeatureCam and PowerMill really add value to customers' workflow apart from what we can do in HSM. To summarize, we have three softwares and or rather three sets of capabilities. I would put it that way in terms of capabilities offered by HSM, FeatureCam, and PowerMill. But then, how do we really choose which one to go for? And that essentially is defined by the quality you require and the quantity that you want to manufacture. And apart from these, of course, if you have invested in a very powerful machine, you really want to ensure that everything runs smoothly, there are no accidents, there is no loss of life or loss to the job itself. And that is where the capabilities in Power Mill definitely ensure that what you see on the computer is what runs on the machine, and you can take steps, necessary steps, without going to the machine. You can make corrections right in the software before you even set up the job on the physical CNC. But one question really comes to my mind. I see a lot of questions coming in already, and I request the audience to be a little patient, and we will try to answer all the questions to the end. So, what if you have the question that I was, about to put to the audience, and even food for thought? What if you have already invested in a collection, for example, the product design and manufacturing collection, and or you are already someone who is using Fusion 360 and are already leveraging the power of the HSM capabilities that are built into Inventor and Fusion 360. What would you do to get some of the advanced capabilities that currently you saw are a part of FeatureCAM and PowerMill? So what we have done to this effect is we have made some changes in the way you access tools inside Fusion 360. So give me a moment till I change my slide. So what we are going to do next is talk about uh, something known as the manufacturing extensions for Fusion 360. And so again, the question that I was putting to the audience, and some food for thought, is what you have already invested in a tool like the product design and manufacturing collection, where you get HSM inside Inventor, or if you are already a Fusion 360 user and you have a machine shop, and you suddenly get a job which needs a more complex treatment unit, it needs more complex tool paths, and very specific kind of editing capabilities. How do you access them? Do you really need to buy additional software like perhaps FeatureCAM or PowerMill separately? Maybe what we are trying to do is we are trying to give you the same capabilities right inside Fusion by giving access to the manufacturing extension. So let's look at what the manufacturing extension is all about. No, what it does essentially, it groups together features that can be unlocked in product using cloud credits. So you already have paid subscription for the product, which gave you access to some a certain set of capabilities. But then there are these advanced capabilities that we want you to be able to use, and this is sometimes that you want to do maybe once in a while, not as a continuous process, but you want access to these tools whenever there is need for such tools. So these can be unlocked in the product using cloud credits. So what does this really means, and how does the packaging look like? So if I look at Fusion 360 today, the subscription offers you tools to be able to produce or to be able to define the product, do 3D modeling, do analysis, do validation of the product, get into production engineering, do the design documentation, as well as do programming for the purpose of production. So that is what Fusion 360 offers. And as as a part of the subscription of Fusion 360, you are able to use this. But it also provides you access to certain capabilities such as generative design, which is part of the product. But in order to access it, you need to have a certain set of cloud credits. So if you run a generative design study on Fusion 360, it will consume a set of cloud credits which are which you have bought as a part of your subscription, or which you have bought separately. There are some other capabilities that use a similar method of consumption, such as cloud rendering. wherein you are able to generate high quality images and turntable videos of your products without having to block your machine for solving for the rendering process. Everything is done on the cloud, and then there is the capability of advanced simulation where you are able to run some complex finite element analysis studies on the cloud. Again, these studies would require a lot of computing power, which when you try to run them on your desktop will definitely take much more time. So we are giving you the ability to leverage the cloud computing and the cloud-based storage that is available to you as a consumption. So whenever you invoke a study that involves cloud, a set of cloud credits are consumed. In a similar way, so these are the ones, these are the capabilities that we provide, which are task based. So every task, when you run them, gives you access to a set of capabilities. But how do, so I talked about the manufacturing extensions also, and that is what we are giving you based on the access that you need. So unlike generative design, cloud rendering, and advanced simulation, which are individual task based, so you invoke a task, you consume cloud credits, whereas the extension is something that you need access to it for a certain period of time. You pay for that certain period of time. That is how these capabilities are unlocked. Now, what is the manufacturing extension, and what are some of its capabilities? So at this stage, I would essentially ask Srini to step in to be able to run us through the
Yeah.
set of capabilities. Srini, over to you.
Uh, yeah, thanks, Sanjeev. So as you see here, so now we are talking about is Fusion extension. So we went through like three different softwares like HSM, FutureCam, PowerMill, and right away I think a lot of you might be having a question. So there are like why three softwares are there, and why can't we have a hand-on to access all the capabilities, all the greatness of these three products together? So that is where this extension comes into picture. So now we are having or building the capabilities or the strengths of these different softwares under the extension part, where if you access the extension, you can take the advantage of getting getting the future, the strength of these all the products, all the CAM products of Autodesk. So this is the first one, the hole recognition. So as you see, so it automatically recognizes the holes from the 3D data that you get, and then it creates the NC program. So that's what this hole recognition is all about. Next slide, Sanjay. And this is a steep and shallow toolpath that is comes with this is a toolpath from PowerMill, so that is getting included in the extension fusion extension area. So this is a single toolpath which can machine any kind of 3D profile and gives you the utmost surface quality as you complete the process. So this is a tool segment that is coming from PowerMill engine into Fusion extension. So if you want to use this particular strategy, then you can just take the get cloud credits, use the cloud credits for extension, and then you can use this advantage of PowerMill toolpath inside your Fusion application. Next slide, Sanjeev. And we have probe geometry, so probing. So this is the inspection part of it. So nowadays you see that almost if you are doing a very big jobs, or maybe if you are having a multiple the volumes of machining is part manufacturing is very huge. And if you mostly nowadays you feel not like earlier days where you take after machining, generally what happens anyway, before say, packing it to the end customer or to the OEMs, you have to do an inspection report and see that it passes through the inspection as per the quality. So generally what happens, this goes into a third step of metrology department where they have the CMMs and to do these things. Now as the volumes are getting increased or your job sizes are very huge, which takes a lot of time to transferred to a third department and then do it and then come back if there is any correction. So these areas are like non-productive time consumptions, so which we can remove it by using this probe geometry within your machining process itself. So this is where this our software supports you in doing this inspection and giving you an inspection report which justifies that the part that you have machined is as per your quality, and in case if there is any deviation found, you can immediately correct it then and there inside the CNC machine where you are doing your manufacturing without disturbing the setups. So all these are in process workflow. It is a closed loop kind of method of manufacturing. So once you take out your job from the CNC machine, it's through for packing. So this probing geometry is also included in extension. Next slide, Sanjeev. Sanjeev? Yeah. So this is what, so probing and surface inspection is what I told you. So it's like it's not only like 2D geometry that you can inspect it, you can also inspect multiple surfaces. So even the surface quality or the surface inspection can be done using our extension, fusion extension solutions. So we have dedicated application for doing these things, and where it gives you a clear-cut report as per the machined data. Yeah, next slide, Sanjay. This is the additive part. So Fusion extension also has the additive manufacturing. So far we have been covering only the subtractive side. So Fusion extension also has the additive side of it, where we can build the materials. So it automatically generates the support structures, and it uh, also minimizes the build height for reduced build time, and it gives you a direct export for select powder bed machines. So we can do powder bed additive manufacturing. Also we can export it as a 3 3 mf files for any additive manufacturing hardware to support to any additive manufacturing machines. The other advantage is that we can even with the power mill you can also do DED processes. So which is not in part of the manufacturing extension, but within power mill you can also create a DED process. Next slide, Sanjay.
So thanks,
Yeah.
Srini. And what we essentially talked about towards the end is that we saw three great products which can be used in different situations. But what if we have to leverage all the capabilities in a single tool? So that is what we are trying to provide you with the manufacturing extensions within Fusion 360. So Fusion 360 by default has the HSM capabilities. Fusion 360 can be, subscribed to as a standalone product or as a part of the product design and manufacturing capabilities as well. Product design and manufacturing collection as well. And now with the availability of manufacturing extensions, we are now able to access some of the advanced capabilities that come from FeatureCAM, come from Power Mill, come from Power Inspect. So all the great features of these various tools are now incorporated, and we are slowly strengthening this part of Fusion 360 so that you get to access and use all these advanced features from multiple tools right within a single interface. So at this point, Srini, I think we should open it up for questions, and I already see a lot of people posing questions in the question section. So if you have not already done that, I request you to please start putting your questions in the question section so we are able to answer it. Srini, I'll take the first one, or rather, I'll just spell out the question here. First question says that can we import model made in other modeling softwares And maybe Srini, I'll answer that. Maybe you can add to it. Yes, we can import model made from any CAD software. And if you are referring to any of the tools that you showed, it is possible in all of them, including the first one, which is HSM, which directly reads native CAD file formats from the various tools. And so I heard when Srini was mentioning and talking about FeatureCAM and PowerMill as well, we support all AnyCAD workflows, which means that we directly read files from almost all the 3D modeling software. So is that right, Srini?
Yeah, of course, of course. Yes, Sanjeev. Yeah.
Yeah, so the next question is, may I know what is the limitation of the fourth axis and fifth axis cam in Inventor HSM? So, I would put it like this here, that in terms of limitation, HSM offers a lot of automated method of selecting geometry and generating the toolpath. There is very little scope to manually tweak and edit the geometry, rather the toolpath, to suit your machining requirements. I would not call that a limitation per se, but it essentially does everything for you and gives you a limited scope to perhaps add manual tweaks, and that is where I believe that the ability of FeatureCAM and PowerMill are differentiating factors when it comes to this particular aspect of HSM. So, Srini, any thoughts around this?
Yeah, of course. So when it comes to off-the-shelf toolpaths, so I think then HSM gives you kind of that kind of toolpath. So what it generates is what you have to stick to do it. Of course, the software gives you the most appropriate kind of toolpaths, but in most cases, so what happens is you need to more tweak the toolpaths that has been generated by the software. In that case is what the other capabilities of the software like the PowerMill comes into picture, where you can modify the toolpath segments that has been created by the software to suit to the kind of in the kind of motion that you wanted to see on your CNC, or the kind of uh, uh, targeting the surface. The method of targeting the surface you want to modify is what this capability that PowerMill adds into your workflow. So hope this is what differentiates when it comes to
Yes, yes.
PowerMill.
I think that's the right way to put it, Srini. Thanks for helping me out. The next
So
question.
hi Sanjeev, sorry to interrupt. While
Yeah.
you're running the Q&A, I will start parallelly running the poll questions.
Hey,
So
sorry.
all the
Yeah, thanks,
participants will write.
Avinash, and thanks for reminding us. In fact, to the audience, as we get along with the Q&A, you will be prompted with a set of questions that we expect you to answer, so that we really get feedback from you as to how the session went, and we would like to hear from you. And we continue to answer your questions as well as the poll goes on. So you must be looking at the poll questions right now, and I believe we expect you to pick various options from the poll questions. And as that happens, let us continue to answer your questions. So the next one that I see here is, can you explain more about 3D sketch? I am not very sure what you might be referring to, but 3D sketching is a capability when it comes to 3D modeling. We have the ability to define sketches in 3 dimensions. Usually sketches start as a 2-dimensional object being drawn on a 2D plane, but if we are able to define lines and geometric entities in all the 3 dimensions, that is what it refers to as 3D sketching. Any perspective from Srini on this, whether there's some feature with respect to Power Mill or Feature Cam around 3D sketching?
Yeah, so when it comes to 3D sketching, I think the CAD interface workflow, which is the HSM, so that's directly interfaces with the CAD data. So where whatever changes happens, it automatically updates. But within the PowerMill and FeatureCam, so it's like the process starts from the importing of data. So you have to re-import, and then the edited data will be re-imported, and then you have to just reprocess the created set of toolpaths with respect to the new features. So that's how the operation goes on.
Sure. So the next one that I'll take here is a question about limitation of the part size considering feature cam and power mill. So any insights, Srini? Any limitation of part size considering feature cam and power mill?
No limitations with respect to the kind of part size that. So this more depends upon the mission that you have. So the mission size is more important, that limits your part to be machined. So not the software.
Great. Another interesting question is, can we get cycle time report from CAM for the entire machining? So Srini,
Yes, of
I think
course.
your
Yeah, of
insights.
course. So yeah, so of course, all FutureCam as well as PowerMill gives you a clear documentation at the end of the like once you complete the project, it gives you the exact. It gives you like a documented format with all the details, and it gives you the overall cycle time. So which is a very good tool which you can share with your within your working environment with all the stakeholders with respect to those that project. Yeah.
So which software can support machine simulation? This is another question that has come up.
So when you consider of any CAM solution, I think it supports. So the main or the most important part is that for any programmer is to verify the kind of operation that he has done is going to look how it's going to look like in the live environment. So in that case, both PowerMill and FutureCam has those capabilities where you can simulate with the actual machine uh, inside the software itself. Offline, you can verify and you can check how the tool motions are before going into the live like the actual machining. Next question, Sanjay.
So I believe these were some of the questions that we had, and the poll is still on. Okay, so another question here, how about inspection in this software?
In
So I
which
believe, yeah, so that software name is not written. I believe it's to do with more to do with FeatureCam and Power Mill.
Okay, so the inspection, as you see, yeah, with PowerMill, the inspection comes in the higher end tier of the software. So we have like any Autodesk products are differentiated like standard, premium, and ultimate. So this OMV or the on-mission verification solution comes within the PowerMill ultimate. So if you go with the higher end or the uh, highest tier of the software, you get the functionality of surface inspection within PowerMill. Or
So
in
is it
case
the
if you
same
want to,
capability that we added, Srini, in manufacturing
yeah,
extensions as well?
extension, yes, of course. But the advantage with uh, if you are very particular about a full-fledged inspection with respect on the inside the CNC machine itself, then my recommendation is to go for Power Inspect, which is an inspection solution where you can do all features like the 2D feature inspections, like your hole inspections, pocket inspections, and also you can go with your surface inspections, any kind of undercut surfaces or aerospace part, any 3D profile inspections, and you can get a cumulative inspection report out of Power Inspect.
Srini, I think there's a follow-up question to that as well. The gentleman was referring to inspection on a CMM machine, I believe. So,
Okay.
if you,
So
yeah, if you look at the question.
when you see CMMs, then of course these are machining solutions what we talked about today. So these are like only these are limited to the CNC machine inspection. That is within the CNC machines if you want to do a on machine verification or inspection. But when you talk about the specialty or dedicated CMMs, then the software that supports from the Autodesk umbrella is the Power Inspect solution. So where we can use the Power Inspect for any kind of portable arm inspections, laser tracking, even CMMs, bridge type CMMs, or on machine verification. So all for it supports all of these applications.
So I think we did not specifically cover Power Inspect today as a software, but that is the one that I believe answers the question
Yeah.
on CMM, as
Yes.
you rightly said.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Question about any material limitation. So I'm not sure about this question, but is there any
Yeah, so
material?
I think I was referring to the different materials available in the library of the software. So of course, I think it's related to that. So we have built a wide variety of materials, standard materials that is available in the market. And also, in case if you are very specific about a customized material properties, then what you can do is you can take a similar so we have been building our libraries with respect to the market scenarios. But in case if any one of the materials are missing, then what you can do is you can take a similar appropriate material and maybe you can tweak the graph with respect to the inputs that you have from the material manufacturer, and then you can store that as a library inside the software.
Another very interesting question. We have PDMC, so can we have access to these new software, or we have to ask for extension? So let me answer that, Srini. Maybe I can answer
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
So
please.
thanks for the question here. PDMC already gives you access to Fusion 360 as a part of the set of products that connect, in the collection. So what you need to additionally do is you need to perhaps get additional cloud credits to be able to access those extensions within Fusion 360. So you don't need to buy any additional software. It's just a matter of getting access to the extensions, and for that you need a few cloud credits over and above what you might already have with the collection. So it's just a matter of having some extra cloud credits to sort of get access to this. Perhaps if towards the end of this, we might reach out to you, and I request you to sort of ask this particular question to the representative that you are already engaged with from Autodesk, or say reach us out with a mail. We will provide you the details as how to access. You don't need to buy anything extra. It's part of your product portfolio, but to get access to the extensions, there is a set of cloud credits that are required separately. And beyond this, people have requested to share the recordings, and that is what we are going to do. We are going to share the recording of this entire webinar with everyone who participated, and thanks for requesting that. We are going to do that. A question about, can we import PDF files and that automatically generate 3D? So I'm not very sure whether this program is with respect to CAM, but any thoughts, Srini? The last question that you see in the question and
Uh,
answer panel.
okay, so with respect to PDF, I think a PDF is like we use PDFs as a non-editable format. So in that case, getting a data in PDF and automatic conversion of 3D is not possible. So what we have is one one of our other solution is PowerShape, which is a CAD modeling solution. So where you can define the sheet size and then import a PDF data, and then from there you can trace the sketch overlapping with respect to the PDF format, and then from that sketch you can start building your geometries. So, but I'm not sure whether
Okay,
we
so
have
I can
any
add
tools.
to that, Srini, a little on the AutoCAD front. In fact, if you have a PDF that was generated from a CAD software, it could be any CAD, Autodesk or otherwise, that PDF can directly be taken inside of AutoCAD and you can extract geometry out of it directly. It has to be a PDF that is created as an output directly from a CAD software. Then this is possible because there is vector information already that resides in a PDF file. So that can be directly taken in and converted to sketches, which can subsequently be taken into Inventor or even in PowerShape for creating the 3D model. But if it is a scanned PDF document, we have again a part of AutoCAD, something known as the raster design. And the raster design enables you to be able to convert a scanned image into a, editable AutoCAD entity. So these are a couple of ways in which you can do that. Some capabilities inside AutoCAD that enable this, and as Srini discussed in FeatureCam, we can bring in a PDF and trace it to be able to create a 3D model inside PowerShape. So I hope that answers your question. Great. So I think I hope we have been able to answer most of your questions. So I got one question which we will take as the last one perhaps. So can we rewrite codes made in other software, like some names of the softwares which are non-Autodesk products are given, Srini? Can we do something like that?
So is this a machining code that
I believe
so
they are
if
talking
they
about
are, yeah,
the
if they
gentleman is
are
talking about CAM
referring,
product
yeah,
software.
yeah, if they are measuring to
CAM
some,
output. Yeah.
yeah, some data which is which they are to run on the CNC machines, the codes. So the thing is like plotting, back plotting of those codes is not possible within the software, because what we are doing within our solutions is that what we create it, we simulate it, verify it, and then we run the CNC machines with confidence. But backplotting of what has been generated by other solutions, or maybe which they are already running on a CNC machine, so that is something like a verification software, but I think it's not in our like scope of solutions.
Right. So I hope we answered your question on that one. Right. So thank you all, and thanks for all your patience. We have sort of gone beyond our stipulated time, and you all have stayed on stayed with us to participate and ask very interesting questions today. And with this, I would want us to say thank you to all. So from me and Srini here, I would say that we are towards the end of the session. Srini, any last comments?
Yeah, thanks, Sanjeev. So, of course, so it was a very nice session. I hope so. All the participants also felt like it's a good one. So, please, your poll answers are very much appreciated, and we look forward to do more of these things. Thank you.
So thank you so much. And with this, we'll end the session. Have a nice day ahead. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Mm-mm.